There's nothing to see here. Calico is the newest album released by Brooke White. I don't know how many of you who probably know that you have heard of her before remember who Brooke White is, but she reached the top 5 of American Idol in 2008. This is one of the sweetest people I hope I ever meet. Everything about Brooke White's persona makes me think she is a long-lost aunt of mine. Like, literally, my mom and my aunts literally are like her in so many ways. So I just want to know if, like, her hugs are just, like, the same kind of warm feeling. Anyway, Brooke, you're a sweetheart. Just wanted to say that. And I looked into Brooke's discography a little bit more. She made music before she became an American Idol contestant, but she actually has made a lot more albums post-Idol than I thought she had. And a lot of them have kind of revolved around this singer-songwriter kind of vibe, with maybe a little bit of a country, not twang per se, but a country-esque influence that snuck itself into her singing style in a way. However, in this album, she is basically going country. Again, not really a twangy country, but it very much feels of a country vibe nonetheless. And I'd say it feels pretty well at home. I think she does great with singer-songwriter content. I think she can also do just as well with this genre. Having said that, there are things in this album I want to talk about, because I just love hearing Brooke White sing, but I have to try to give this album an honest listen. So let's delve into this, shall we? The very first song, Calico, definitely lets you know that she's switching up a lot of things in here. It sounds almost kind of live. It's like, I don't know if it's a different studio or something, but it has a lot more of a live sound to it. Leading into the next song, Honey, it has a lot more of a upbeat and I would say smile-driven sound to it. Then we keep playing along with this shift in genre kind of taste, but then we dig deeper into some of the other tracks, like Into the Trees. And Weigh Me Down. Songs like these show off a little bit more of her songwriting style and the way that she connects either a story or maybe the dream of a sentiment that we've all had in a way. And especially in the case of Weigh Me Down, that is a song where the artist is singing to an emotion. Not about an emotion, but to the emotion. There are only a few songs that I know that do that, but they're very clever, and you often feel like, yeah, I do want to say that to whatever it is, that feeling or that presence that's trying to hit me with their doubt or their fear or their ambition or, whatever kind of emotion it could be. It's like one thing wants to take over you, but you either have to listen carefully to it or you have to resist it and tell it to get away quickly. As the album continues, we get other songs like The Night We Met, which is more of a sweet and cutesy kind of song. She knows how to play that well. And then there's one song in here called Be Good. Now this song, when I think that I can take a step back and not think too deeply about it, it is a very, very good song. It does talk about kind of how we should behave and how we should be treating other people. And one of the lines in there is kind of saying like things aren't as black and white. And from a perspective I probably would have had maybe over a year ago, I would be totally on board with that. However, I also feel like the world is telling us that everything is gray and that not enough things are black and white. So I have both perspectives in my mind. So there are times where I don't know if I agree with the song or if I am totally on board with it. The overall sentiment, since it comes from her, since it comes from Brooke White, I understand what perspective she is trying to convey, so I agree with it. But, you know, it's interesting to try to have those kinds of perspectives. Sometimes a song means one thing, sometimes it can mean something different. And it especially can mean something entirely different if you know which direction or which perspective an artist is trying to convey. So in the end, this is a very fun treat for a fan like me. I think this is something that a lot of Brooke White fans are really going to enjoy. I don't see this as anything maybe anyone else would see as revolutionary, obviously. But, you know, for those of us who are familiar with her work, this is something that we're going to be surprised by. And maybe there's something else that could come from this. She could continue to evolve. She could get new opportunities through this. She's such a sweetheart. And of course, she's going to work well with other country singers or just in the country industry in general. I think that a lot of doors could potentially open with this. Having said all that, let's get into the final recommendation. After having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 98%, creativity 90%, expression and lyrics 98%, I'm going to give this album a good. A grade like that, I feel like I would have given it a higher recommendation. I also felt like I didn't want to overhype myself because, again, I adore Brooke White. But just because she switched things up, it doesn't mean that everything was hot diggity new and wow, that is right on the money for something that we should all be chatting about. I don't have that kind of drive to be able to get something higher. But I don't think that the percentages are false either. I think that this is a very well-made album. I really do. It's just, it's a good album. That's all I have to really say about it. There's nothing that's really bad. There's nothing that's beyond praiseworthy, but it's something that we're all going to really like. We should all like this album. That's really what it comes down to. I don't know what boundaries Brooke could push in the future. I think she likes making music for fun. I think she does it for part of her livelihood as well, I'm sure. But I think that's what level this album is. I'm sure people who love Brooke White are going to adore this album. I really do. And to an extent, I do. There are songs in here that I would just be like, oh. And then there's other songs where I'm like, okay, that's not bad. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.